Hi guys, welcome back. It's Ray here. It's my second Zwift racing video. Stage 3 of Flamme Rouge racing tour of Watopia. It'll be 40.3k over the out and back route. Let's get going. As you can see, most videos and most Zwift racing straight out the traps. 6.7.3 watts per kilo, and initially I thought this is going to be a bit of a crazy one, but surprisingly settles very quickly. I was expecting some big attacks to start with. I sped it up a little bit here because it sat relatively steady at about 40k an hour for quite a while. Couple of little attacks off the front, nothing really comes of it, and then 3 or 4 start to break away, which looks like could be quite a substantial move this early on in the race. Well, it's flat, maybe they're trying to get to the bottom of the climb before everyone else, so stupidly I jump on, try to bridge across, maybe burnt matches that I didn't have. And as soon as I get to the group, it's quite evident that everyone's sat up and no one wants to work. So that was 100% an absolute waste of time. And I think in the future I won't be looking at that. Although I have been caught out 1 or 2 times in the past with moves like that, which is why it did look a little bit attractive to start with. So this is stage 3. I didn't record stage 1 and 2. Stage 1, absolute nightmare. Disconnected my Apple TV 2 minutes before the race. So connected my phone with 14 seconds to go, and done an 8-kilometer time trial with just my head down and going for it. And it was disgusting. And as you can see there, caught by the pack pretty easily, and then we're back to normal racing. Speed it up now, so nothing really eventful happens now until we've got the first sprint point. So I'll talk a little bit about Flamme Rouge racing. So I'm by no means an expert at Flamme Rouge racing. I've just been introduced to it. It seems a very well organised race, and I signed up for it before someone had mentioned it's probably the hardest Zwift stage racing out there, which is just what you want to hear. As you can see here, the pace is really ramped up. We're hitting 50k an hour, building up to that first sprint point. I'm not much of a sprinter myself. I like to kind of sit in the pack and recover, but as you can see, everyone's starting to go a little bit crazy now. So because we're so close to the climb, I think it's really important to try and stay with this pack as much as possible. And it is it's obviously not one of the things that you want to see the minute you finish a sprint, is straight into the little incline. So I had to work really hard here just to try and recover. You can see my heart rate at like 186. I said in my last video, don't worry about that. Got a max heart rate at 206, so 185 is kind of threshold for me, but pretty much on the limit here, trying to stay with this group, try and get some kind of remnants of recovery once I'm with them before we hit the first big climb of the day. You probably see there, just over to the right of me, there's another army rider, another one of my teammates, Phil. Phil's a really strong rider, so he's one of the reasons that I jumped on this one, because I thought it'd be nice to have a teammate on this, even though you can do this stage multiple times in the day. I stupidly decided to do the early morning 0600 one. I am not a morning person, and this ride was 100% fueled on 2 crumpets and an espresso. so probably not the best thing to be punching down your neck at 5:30. But in all honesty, I was not feeling this race at all, and it has probably been one of the toughest ones to peel myself out of bed for. So say everyone's pretty much regrouped, just trying to get a little bit of active recovery in there, a bit of soft pedaling and trying to get the heart rate down, knowing that the climb's coming up, and my aim really is to try and stick with the pack as much as possible to the top of the climb. I'm not bad at climbing, but I'm 90 kilos, so the Zwift algorithm doesn't really like my physique, so in the real world I can get up hills pretty well, but for some reason Zwift doesn't think I can, so I tend to get dropped when the climb's a little bit too long. And there we go, we start descending now to the base of the climb, and there we go, straight away, straight up, orange numbers coming up. I suspect from some of the other riders, I have a feeling we've got quite a few climbers in this group, because they didn't particularly want to push it too much on the flat, but I suppose that's hey-ho, that's the nature of the beast. If you jump in it, sometimes you'll have a lot of sprinters, sometimes you'll have a lot of climbers. So I'm working really hard here, 5 watts per kilo, just to try and stay with the pack. The climb's kind of in 2 segments. I'm trying to kind of keep an eye on Phil and stay in and around the same area as him, because I know he's strong. And I just keep tapping away, hoping that I'm going to stick with the pack for as long as possible, and hoping that they're not too far away, so maybe on the descent I can kind of bridge any gap.
Bye bye.
And that's it, that's the moment, they're off. I just didn't have it in the legs to kind of bridge that gap. I'm still like in the 180s for heart rate. At this point Phil goes past me. Just sit up a little bit, but I just can't stay with it, and I'm struggling. I'm kind of using them as an aiming marker ahead of me. They're only a couple of seconds ahead, but then the second climb starts and I'm absolutely done. I don't seem to have anything in the legs. I just can't seem to get up this, and already another two riders passing me on the climb. So it seemed like I'd settled in for a long day after that. Yeah, I mentioned before, I'm not actually that bad at climbing. I had quite a tough week of racing last week, one of which included a team time trial up Alpe du Zwift, which we peaked at just over an hour 1, which I have done it a lot quicker, but you have to stick as a team, so I don't fear climbing. It just seems when I hit the racing, there seems to be a lot of mountain goats in the pack there. So this was the bit I was hoping for, the archway, and then maybe get some orange numbers down and get in the super tuck, and hopefully try and bridge the gap to some people. I think at some point, as you can see, there's a rider up ahead that I just seem to breeze past. I believe they catch me back up again, and again I'm just trying to get above that 55k so I can get into the super tuck and try and recover. And it's at this point at the bottom of the climb, I think, oh well, at least I've got a group of 4 of us now, that we can maybe work together and share a little bit of the load. But the minute we got together, they dropped off straight away, dropped off the watts straight away, and then sat back. I hadn't really changed my power very much, and at times I really had to kind of drop off just to get them to come back up to me. But as soon as we hit an incline, you'll see straight away they get back on it and they come past me, and we're back at it again. So it was a bit of a cat and mouse for a bit on some of these rolling parts, and that was a little bit frustrating because I would have rather just worked as a team with the 4 of us to maybe get a little bit of rest, but also keep pushing the pace as much as we could. We get to the base of the next climb, and it's evident straight away that they are climbers, because they just dance past me like I'm standing still, and I'm still pushing. I was pushing 3 watts per kilo, 3.5 watts per kilo, which is what should be for this category that we're in. I should say the categories are very different in Flamme Rouge racing. You do the first 2 stages, stage 1 and 2, and then you are put in a classification. The classifications are based off peppers. So I'm in Hab, which is that's why it's next to my name, so for habanero, which is kind of like CB kind of area. Straight over the climb, back into the super tuck, and again I'm trying to bridge across, and it's evident that they are climbers and they're not very powerful on the flat, so I just go straight past, but again they do bridge back onto me, and I just try to work together for the last couple of K, but there's no catching my teammate Phil up ahead. He's a minute and a half ahead of me. So I did consider then, with the last couple of K to go, do I attempt to put a sprint in towards the sprint point in the competition, but opted against it. I just really wanted to stay away from this rider, so sat in and around that area for the last K, just going a steady pace. And then I thought, why not? I'll go for it, and just quickly realised I don't have it in the legs whatsoever. Finishing 28th on 2.8 watts per kilo. Up next, stage 4, 19.6 miles, quite a lumpy route. Thanks everyone for watching. See you tomorrow.